NUMB DAME, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys taking the time.
Called?
We call it Champs Corner, but the name is like super.
Champs Corner.
Yeah, it's just like
Champs
I don't really
Corner.
like it that much, but we're kind of running with it for now.
Champs in the corner.
But
I'm a champ.
we're all champs.
In the corner. I feel like if I hold it here, can we all hear it?
No, because the gain is pretty low.
Gain is pretty low. Okay.
So use proper mic form. Use proper mic form.
Yeah, fist away, give or take, something like that. Yeah, but please introduce yourselves one by one and what you play in the band.
Hi, my name is Cameron. My name is Cameron Sunshine. I play electric bass guitar in NUMB DAME.
My name's Grace Mural. I play guitar and vocals in NUMB DAME.
I am the Zaniac, and I play the drums in NUMB DAME.
Amazing, amazing. Well, I had the pleasure. We talked about it before we got on. Of coming to one of your shows. It was a Valentine's Day show in 2020.
First Valentine's Day show.
First Valentine's Day show at Green Auto. One of the things I'll always remember about that show is I was single on that day, and I got a Valentine's Day card from the band playing. So I was pretty stoked.
We thought it was cute.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
And now all three of us are dating you.
Exactly.
That's why we're here in Champs Corner.
Also, who's the primary songwriter of NUMB DAME? Or you guys all share that kind of load?
We all share it. We all share it. I think the process has evolved over the course of being a band. I think when we started, I was like, let's play these songs and then make it work. And now it's really, really collaborative. Like every step of the way, we are vetting and vetoing and critiquing each other's like parts, but we all have final say of what our instruments are doing.
Okay, nice. So take me through kind of how a song forms right now for NUMB DAME. Like, how do you guys start with an idea? How does it grow within the band, and how does it become to the final form?
Such a good question. Do you have thoughts?
Yeah, it basically starts out with like somebody brings a riff of some sort. Like rarely will somebody bring an entire song or anything like that, but we'll start with the riff and then we'll just jam on that forever. And then we'll just be like, where should this go next? And then after that, kind of work that out. Lyrics are like kind of your space. Sometimes I'll suggest a line. Sometimes Cameron will suggest a line. But it's mainly just like in Grace's court for that one. I don't know. Any other songwriting tidbits?
Yeah, I think it's different. It's different for every song. Like some of them we come up with in like one take with a jam, and then other ones will take 3 months of playing over and over again to actually figure it out, and then we'll play it live like at least 100 times before it is actually like done.
I also feel like it's structurally, it's always a long process of cooking for us. Like I think what we did for a long time, I think we're moving away from this slightly now. But I think we had the approach for a long time of just like, what if we added another section to every song? I think even if like there have been times where someone, at least for our more recent works, has brought in like the skeleton of a song to workshop as a band, but like it always, even when it's like something that's in a sort of inchoate stage written by one person, it always ends up changing a tremendous amount before it's anything like done. And of course also that involves playing it live, as you said, Grace.
What seems to be like an ongoing theme with like the lyrics that you seem to be writing about? Is there an ongoing theme, or does it switch around?
Probably. I think with the first record, Give Us $10 Million to Kill Arms Dealers, listen to it anywhere but Spotify.
Hell yeah.
Lost my train of thought. Did a tiny bit of promo and immediately like lyrical themes.
Motifs.
Yeah, it's maybe if one sentence, the political is personal, as opposed to the personal is political. That's if I really narrowed it down, but yeah. Did y'all have a better idea of this? Because I feel like I say everything in the lyrics, and then I'm like, yeah, that.
Well, like the political is personal. Like, what does that mean to you?
Like, maybe just like whatever anti-apoliticalness is, because we all live in the world and we all inhabit the space with each other, and we are co-creating the world whether we want to or not, just by like participating in culture. And like, I think the personal is political is like one of those like more OG feminist like slogans, for lack of a better term. Is really good for like understanding like what we're going through and what we like each individual person is like affected by the prison of society or whatever. But we have more like will and say and like being able to name how awful it is in specific ways is how we get free. I think at least like the very, very, very first step is to be like, that's a problem, here's an idea. Yeah, and like the political is personal because if anything is going to change, and it is changing, we are the ones to do it, you know, like individually and collectively and everything in between. That's how I feel about it.
Do you find music is kind of a really good avenue for that? Because I feel like there's a lot of times in history where music has marked a lot of movements.
Yes, I think music, live music, because it is people literally being together. I think as long, whatever the art form is, it doesn't actually matter. It's the people being together. And music's an amazing, cathartic, fun way to do that. But I think if like you go to the movies with your friends and you talk about it, that's the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's also important to note, like, I mean, I agree mostly with everything Guy said, but I think it's important to note that, I mean, at least in my opinion, I think the weakness of a lot of movements has been sublimation of the movement into art and movement of the principles into art. And I think that the danger of letting the personal be political is that the personal or the political can just be sublimated by the personal. And it can be a song about yourself rather than about anything. And rather about your own experience rather than like anything else in the world. And I think that the world is full of pop songs and full of love songs, and I always wanted to push the band really hard to not necessarily not make love songs, but make songs that are also about more than that, and interconnect with things. And I think that it's, frankly, I think we're all fooling ourselves if we ever think that, like, if we are politically motivated people, that music will ever be enough. And I think that's why live music is so important to us, is because listening to political music, if anything, it just makes you feel like you're engaging with politics when you're not really. You're just listening to music. So I think that, like, but also it's an important act of catharsis, and, you know, we need joy, we need art, we need creative fulfillment in the world. So I think it can be, like, very helpful to at least get people in the same spaces and expressing solidarity together and coming closer together and meeting new people and getting involved with their community in various ways.
No, I think it's the easiest place to start. Because you're like, I like that band. And now you have like 4 other people you can talk to about it. And then especially if the art is trying at least to interface with themes of culture and politics and all these things, we can, you know, get the ball rolling. And at least have like, you know, even in the most basic thing, it's like having, for me, my calling being like the arts and all this stuff, is like I can create space and fun and catharsis for, you know, the people who are doing the really, really hard work of like explicit direct action and like social work and like all these things, because there's so many things you can do. And like if we can have a space that can be safe and fun and cathartic for the people who are doing the real work.
Yeah.
You know, and I think just having something to rely on, I guess, in that terms of like culture and togetherness and being there for each other, even if it isn't music.
Yeah.
You know, just like being together.
Yeah. Well, something to be said about groups of people getting together to enjoy something.
Yeah.
Just how we connect with each other. Right? And that's how a lot of movements, missions, ideas were started.
Yeah, it's like, what are we
together.
living for instead of what are we against?
Yeah.
Because I think the fault of a lot of movements is the like defining yourself in opposition instead of being for something.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, you know, what are you willing to die for? And it's like, I think maybe what are you willing to live for? Like, what do you care about? What are you doing this for, right?
Yeah.
And this is what we're doing it for, is so we can hang out and have enough to eat and a safe place to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, and like people don't have that. And that's fucking bullshit.
No, 100%.
Right?
100%. No, that was really, really well put.
Thanks.
Give me an explanation on the name, NUMB DAME. Where did that come from?
No, we can't explain that, sorry.
Can
I
explain
mean,
that?
if you really want to, you can. I'd like to
can-
just
we
read.
can-
Sorry, I'm
plead the
sorry,
fifth.
Grace.
By way of answer.
Yes.
I just like to read from House of Leaves by Daniel Dankovsky. Sorry, I mean Mark Z. Danilewski. Do not touch me. Do not read me. Do not see me. Do not me. Whoever sees God dies. Next question. Sorry.
That's okay. That's great. I love that. How do you guys feel about, because from what people have explained to me, from what I gathered from watching your show on Valentine's Day, is it seems that you guys, your music edges towards punk music. How do you guys feel about the label of punk music?
I think I always like jokingly say that it's punk and punk subgenres because I never know where exactly on like the punk spectrum it is. I don't know. I personally don't feel very punk. Like, I don't know. I kind of just work like a white collar job and have a fucking degree and shit. And not like any of this is non-punk in a way, but it's just like, I don't know. I sometimes feel that I'm not living up to the label in maybe a way that you two are, or at least that I perceive you two to be. Mm-hmm. Whereas I'm just like, what do you mean? I'm not punk. I just go to work and I cook a pasta when I get home. And I mean, it's yummy, but is it punk? Who's to say?
I mean, at the very least, you are punctual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you are for sure.
Yeah, this is sort of how I feel about it too. I mean, music's music, and like, when the hell did punk start? 77. What the fuck? That was forever ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, and also like, punk beginning, at least in terms of like the label and everything, with the posers being like the Sex Pistols, like. Total fucking posers by any stretch of the definition. I think Johnny Rotten's an actual Tory now, which is hilarious. He definitely is the Antichrist. But yeah, it's like it doesn't matter. It's like the labels for the music. It's like I realized the other day because I'm doing a lot more like music research in terms of like musical history and what my influences are, and realized that I am very much a blues rock musician, and that like my inspirations for guitar are going to be so different from what these two listen to, and my inspirations for songwriting and how I sing are also very very different, more like indie pop, I guess. And then because I play blues rock, like my favorite guitarist when I was a 6-year-old when I started learning guitar was B.B. King. I was obsessed with that.
Classic.
Like the 10-minute Lucille where he just talks about how much he loves his guitar and then goes tweedly tweedly tweedly. I'm like, yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. And it's like, just because I put some delay and some reverb and some other nonsense on my guitar doesn't mean I'm not going wheedledee, wheedledee, wheedledee.
Yeah.
Even if I am doing some chromatic stuff or some stuff that I think fits in more with what the two of you play, which I think is a lot more, maybe not subversive, but in that like post-punk way where it is like after listening to all this stuff and having like real taste in music instead of like, I'm a punk or I'm a mod or I'm a rocker or whatever. And it's like, no, it's like we listen to soundtracks. We listen to, fucking like Wii Sports and Mario Kart and like all this shit. It's like that is deep in there just as much as like Lucille and, the Sex Pistols. Right.
I think also like one of the interesting things about our band though is that we do like, I think arguably what makes us slightly interesting I'm so sorry. What makes us slightly interesting musically, at least in my opinion. I mean, I don't want to I'm going to do it. I'm what I think makes us somewhat interesting musically is that we all have a musical voice that is equally heard in the band, and that we have very disparate influences. And I think, like, it's really easy to, in the world of punk, either, like, really lean into the sort of conformist, this is the sound that punk is, or to sort of, like, get caught up in the post-punk thing where I think you on some level disdain the idea that music can be danceable or moshable or heavy or like really fast. And I think that those are like fun things for music to be. And even as I've gotten a little bit older, brackets is 25 years old, I actually was going to say that in response to what you were saying, Zaniac, I personally live in one of my parents' basements and don't have a job, which is probably the most punk thing that you can be. And I do identify with the label for whatever reason, even though it's like very flawed, and I have my critiques of the idea. And I think that sort of like dissonance between us, I think we've worked into something where we have different influences and we push and pull the band in different directions. I think is one of the things that makes us fun to listen to. And frankly, we're better as a punk band than if we were just doing indie pop stuff. But I think we're also better with those indie pop and those jazz influences and stuff than if we were just like a boring punk band.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, for someone who's in a band, like, the idea of, like, trying to balance everyone's musical voice equally seems to be, I think, difficult for a lot of bands. Like, there's a lot of, like, removal of ego in that sense. How do you guys manage that as a band? Like, making sure everyone's musical voice is heard?
We're a 3-piece.
Yeah.
Way easier. There's just like 3 less relationships than, you know, when you go into a 4-piece or even a 5-piece.
Yeah.
No idea how that would work. Yeah, that's my thought.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I can be maybe a bit arrogant and asshole-ish about my drum parts because I have a lot more drum experience than these two.
Yeah,
so sometimes if they're just like, oh, you should change that, I'm like, I think I would know a bit better. But like, lots of the time they are right, and it takes me just like a little bit of time to get there. But there definitely is still a bit of egoism on my part. I don't know. But there are things that I've like fought for that I'm glad that I fought for, where that people were like, "Oh, this is the wrong part," and I'm like, "No, I think this is right, and I think you'll come around to my perspective." And I think I'm good at knowing when to like put my heels in, and when to be like, "Actually, no, I'm wrong here. Like there is a better part, and I can find it." And yeah, I would say being a 3-piece really helps because I don't ever play bass on any of the tracks, so it's always Sky's or Cameron's voice. Redacted. Cameron's voice on the bass.
I think also like you said the thing about digging your heels in, but I don't think that's happened recently. Like what I was going to say is that I think we've our songwriting has become very harmonious, and for a long time, yeah, I think there was, at least for me, like a sense of wanting to like fight over what an individual song was going to be. But I know the place I'm at with it now is just like not really caring that much about caring about individual songs, but being like, okay, well, like maybe this song isn't doesn't like represent my specific creative voice in the way that it could, but I also just like playing bass with you. I like playing music with you too, and so I feel fulfilled by any kind of song we write, and we're gonna write more songs, and we just have fun playing together. I feel like we've been playing together for almost 3 years now, pretty regular, like almost every week, and I think we've just gotten a good working relationship where we know how to respond to each other in a way that's effective and fun, and
Something I will actually just add on is it becomes easier as you have more and more songs to like fill out that like catalog of songs.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, oh, like Grace wrote this entire song or whatever, and it's like, yeah, okay, it's just like one song out of 30 though. You know, like it doesn't really make us lose our band identity or anything like that. And like there are certain songs where I'm a bit more toned up, and there are certain songs where I'm more toned down, and it's just like a constant process of like making space. And also, like, trying to consider what's actually best for the song outside of, like, what I think is best for me.
Serving the song, not the ego sort of thing.
Yeah, which is really hard.
And it's actually a very tough balance for sure.
Yeah, I feel like we've gotten pretty good at it.
Yeah.
It's just, like, I don't know. So it's one thing I am very proud of for us is, like, we are good at communicating and good at, like, not even taking the L, but just, like, trusting each other and having that faith. And, like, of course, that does every time we write another song. We get it.
Let's hear it.
So I got to the bit in this Moomin comic where Moomin like force masks a group of old ladies and like turns them into men.
Oh.
Transgenderism?
That's kind of like the film Some Like It Hot.
This is gonna be great for podcasts.
It's just quiet.
Yeah, I don't know if we can show the camera for copyright reasons.
There's also alcoholism.
Oh, it's like going pretty deep, eh?
Yeah.
Moomin.
And she's like crying.
Where does one find Moomin?
The library.
The
The
library.
library.
The
Hell
library.
yeah. That is a
Yes.
very
Oh, is this
that's
the
a very
library
punk place.
Graphic JFIC Jan.
Yeah.
Or Jan.
The Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been? You guys been in a band for 3 years. You said you've been playing together for 3 years, and the band formed after.
Grace and I formed the band in 2023. In January of 2023, we had a different drummer for our first 6 shows, but we parted ways for a number of reasons. And then we met Noah on the Red Gate balcony. We met the Zaniac on the Red Gate balcony. And just like bleep out the name every time.
Yeah.
Like yeah. Just like bleep this whole thing. We met this. We met the Zaniac on the Red Gate balcony, and it worked out. We've been playing together since August of 2023, and it is now March of 2026.
Yeah, so this is just like a censor test to make sure something gets censored. My home address is Street in
Yo, postal code.
Oh yeah, postal code is oh.
What's your first maiden name?
So
First pet, name of the first street you grew up on.
Yeah,
What's
first
your
car
eye
you drove.
color?
Yeah.
Those other ones. I'm trying to do the Life Labs ones that I've had to
Yeah,
Life Labs one. Yeah.
I forgot what the question was.
Okay, so 3 years. So you guys have had a long run in like the Vancouver music scene so far.
Is that long? Is that a long time?
I don't know.
It is a long time.
That is a
It is
long time. I think a lot of
Yeah.
bands like kind of don't make it past the first year because of differences or people moving away and stuff like that.
I mean, it's something I've reflected on that we have. It's interesting. I've sort of always been aware of the fact that I'm very grateful for who I am. I'm very lucky in many ways, but I don't think I've ever really had like a charmed life in the way that some people do. And I've always been aware that if I ever get anything good, it'll be because I've worked for it. Because I'm not like rich or cis or pretty in a conventional way. And I'm just weird. I'm a weird person. I think it's funny thinking about how like 3 years is a long time for a lot of bands. And so many local bands break up after a year, 2 years because of creative differences, or because people don't prioritize it in the band, or because one of them turns out to be a rapist, or something like that, or someone moves away, or whatever it is. And yet I also think about how most of the well-known alternative bands, with a few exceptions, that anyone is talking about nowadays, were around playing shows in their DIY music scene for years before they got signed or before they went on a world tour. And I think, frankly, like, I think sometimes it can feel, it can seem as though a lot of bands in the local scene show up, they play a few shows, and suddenly they're huge, and they get articles written about them, and they're going on tour. And I think so often the reality is that those bands have been, and with some exceptions, they've been working really, really hard for a long time. They've been writing their songs and playing in other bands and sort of like putting the time in the scene and building community and finding bandmates. And so I think to some degree, I don't know, especially because at least I am relatively new to music, it feels like the work is just starting.
Yeah.
And I know we want to keep doing this, and we're working on a second album.
Ooh.
And we have more plans, and we're going on tour across Canada this September. So I don't know. It doesn't feel like a long time.
Yeah, no kidding.
It feels like a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Like for real. Which is, it's so interesting to be like, oh yeah, like so many bands break up, and it's like, okay, yeah, but bands that are that break up are, what am I trying to say with this? I think, yeah, I'm just gonna be repeating what you said and be like, bands that people talk about, bands that like exist within the cultural consciousness or whatever, even if it's like 100 people. It's bands that have been around and put in the work, even if like, the 4 members of the band have been in 4 other bands previously and
sure.
like worked with somebody, like have been producing for forever. It's like, have been doing the podcast and stuff. It's like, we are in community, and a lot of the people who, blow up or whatever are like really nice people. and like are putting in the work and have been in bands. Like it's always people who have been around, right? Which is cool.
Yeah.
Like it feels like we like, I don't know. It's like the meritocracy isn't real because of white supremacy. But like it does feel, at least with like some of the more DIY music, that the best bands do invariably get up there, you know, which is cool. Which is cool. And I'm like I'm trying to like hold on to that faith. You know, because like, yes, you know, shitty people are shitty people sometimes, and
Absolutely.
shitty people get lucky too. But it feels like there's the tolerance for that is like nil now, which is awesome. Because it feels like people want good people to succeed, right? And we want to be represented by people who are good people. And when their music's dope, it's like, yeah, please keep doing it.
Yeah. Leads me perfect to my next question. How, in your eyes, has the Vancouver scene developed over your time in it?
So hard to say. So hard to say. For me, that feels like akin to being like, sort of like realizing that my mental health has gotten better, or that I've become more resilient to societal illnesses that make me fucking sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's been such a small thing. Like I think for me, it's just I just feel recognized and welcomed in the community, which is just because I just know more people now because I've just been in the scene for a long time.
Yeah.
I guess people care. People really, really care. I'm not sure if that's just me noticing it or if it's, you know, people are more willing to express it. But that's something that I think I've noticed in the past few years of being in the scene, is that people give a shit and people want it to be good and people want it to be great, you know, which rules. It's cool.
And I think also part of it being better and having higher standards in terms of conduct and so forth is also that the scene is, in my opinion, just straight up better and bigger and more diverse than it was in like 2018 when I was going to shows as a teenager. It's just a much. From everyone I think who's been doing shows in Vancouver for a while, we're going to shows in Vancouver for a while. The sense seems to be that basically every band in the 2010s was like just a bunch of kind of shady white guys. And obviously we I love white men who are in bands sometimes, most of the time. But like I think it's also good that there's a lot more other people getting involved nowadays.
Diversity.
And there's just more people, like straight up, just a lot more people. Like I went to a lot of like half-empty Redgate shows back in the day, and you kind of don't see that very often anymore. Or even like Take Your Time, which, you know, we are all like they were consistently selling out every weekend towards the end there, like even before they announced their closure. And like, yeah, the kids are all right.
Well, I kind of want to ask, like, what is some things that the Vancouver scene does really well? I think you guys have kind of touched on that.
I don't know what to compare it to. I just like we haven't gone on tour yet. I don't know. We exist.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, okay. So I'm like from Thunder Bay, Ontario, and something the Vancouver scene does really well is there's like house drum kits. Because in Thunder Bay, Ontario, everyone would be bringing their own drum kit, and you would have to set up your entire drum kit in like 15 minutes, and like wait until the other person had taken down their drum kit. And like if the guy before you was like a rich kid and had like, and myself included, and had like the like 7-piece drum kit,
You're like,
God, that was annoying. So that's like for me one way that the Vancouver music scene excels.
Alicia Rosenbaum, sudden migraines. Audrey McCullough, mild anxiety. Tepet C. Brooks, insomnia. Billy Reston, enduring sensation of cold. Daisy, excitement, intermittent fever, scratches, echolalia. Thank you. My name is Cameron Sunshine.
How did you guys set up your tour? Because you said you were going on tour in
Yes, thank you.
It's not. We're in the process of booking it. We are going on tour with our friends in Rougarou, who are another cool local like goth post-punk queercore band, and our friends in that band, as well as Devlin Galloway, who's one of the partners of George, who's one of the front people of Rougarou. Some of them are a lot more experienced musicians than us. I mean, you two have been doing it for longer than me, but we haven't been like playing in big bands for that long. Not as in like a jazz context. None of us have played in jazz big bands. So mostly it's just like we're not playing big
No, of course.
venues.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we're just playing like bars in like Saskatoon and stuff. But it's literally you just gotta like. I mean, obviously our community has been really helpful in helping us find venues and getting recommendations from other bands who've toured before us. But it's like you just gotta send a shit ton of emails to places across the country, and then like a really good tip I got is you can like go on Bandcamp and you can like sort by tags for different locations, and then you can like see recent releases from a city. And then you can reach out to the bands like that and find interesting bands in a city where you don't know anyone.
That's a really good tip.
And yeah, just like ask your friends, ask people in other bands.
Yeah.
Send email. There's nothing more punk rock than sending emails about your punk rock band.
Hell yeah.
Cameron Sunshine.
Sincerely,
26.
NUMB DAME.
Electronic mails. Yeah. Ask around and then make it happen. It's
Yeah.
just like booking a show locally. You have to know people and you have to try really, really hard. It's how it goes with everything, you know? If you want to build community, you got to ask people.
How would y'all... No, go ahead.
That said, though, it's actually not that. It does take work, but it's actually not that hard to book a show locally. Like you can just email a venue, like Redgate. Usually pretty easy to book at. Some of the other ones are a little harder, but like you can just send them an email and like you can message bands on Instagram. If you message us and you're a band, for free, we'll probably say. I mean, we have to turn down things more these days to get offered more shows, but like we usually try and say yes to everything that we get offered.
Yeah.
So like, do you want to play a show with NUMB DAME?
Studio audience?
I think I heard a yes.
Hell yeah. Reach out.
Well, that actually leads me perfect to my next question. How did you guys get your first show in Vancouver?
I was a friend of mine, Lexi Fontaine, shout out, booked us. Knew we were trying to start a band. We go quite a ways back. She was booking a show at 648 Kingsway before it was Take Your Time, and I just asked her if she would book us for a show because I knew she promoted shows, and we played with. That was one of Hope Slide's first shows.
Oh, nice.
A punk band that's no longer around called Credit Card Fraud.
Yes.
And
And great.
no, that was Kitty. Our second show. It was Lita from G-Say and the Hallowed Catharsis and Sissy XO, who was doing like a noise set. Yeah.
With the keys and the astral.
Yeah. It was cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell
Honestly,
yeah.
kind of a star-studded cast for our first show.
Yeah. Hope Side's great too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, what would be some advice you guys would give to someone who is starting a band right now and kind of wants what you guys have, like that equal say with musical voices, learning to work with each other? Because you guys seem
Kill
very-
your guitarist. I mean, like genuinely, like it's interesting. So I've been playing rhythm section in another band that's starting to get some shows, or that's starting to write some songs. And it's literally like it's making me flash back to basically like and this is gonna sound bad, but it's not bad, I promise. Are sort of like my systematic campaign of negging Grace until she realized that the bass and the drums were just as important as the guitar and the vocals. Like you gotta just like
More important
for sure. More
Like,
important for sure.
All dance music, which
Yeah.
is all good music,
Yeah.
is bass and drums.
Yeah.
No matter what. No matter what.
100%.
I think for me the tier list of instruments is S tier is drums and vocals. Vocals because everybody can do it. That's why.
I always say that.
It's
Everyone
like
can do vocals.
it's like the human. Like
Yeah.
if humans have any kind of birthright, it's song and storytelling and being together and all that shit.
Yeah.
And then bass is like right at the top of A tier because it is still a guitar. At least electric bass guitar. And then like violin and fiddle and whatever. But like guitar is low down there. Guitar is the sauce on the meal that is
100%.
bass and drums.
Yeah.
And like
I had to look at. I found guitar. It was like under the.
yeah, it was way at the bottom. It was way at the bottom. Like seriously though, like if guitarists and singers need to realize, at least in my opinion, that it is more fun to write music when you are not right. Like when you are trying something and it kind of misses, and then the rest of the band fills it out, right? It's like you can only write so good a song with an acoustic guitar and your voice, right? But if you want to make a great song, especially when it comes with like, you know, louder music, which is like, there's so much with dynamics and arrangement, which is like the whittling, like when you play a song live like 100 times just to like make it actually great instead of just good.
I think something that's really simple and really helps like even just like maintain better creative relationships is always trying somebody's suggestion. Yeah. So that like you can like actually hear if it's a better suggestion or not. And then like but always hearing somebody out and being like, "You know what? Okay, yeah, like we'll try it your way as well." Like it only usually takes like 3 minutes maximum sort of thing, and then and you can all sit there with like the exact same knowledge of like, oh, that actually did work really well, or oh, that didn't work as well as I thought it did. Let's go back to how it was the other way before. But like an open-mindedness of like, yeah, you could be wrong in this scenario, and you know you're often wrong. I've had many songs, or not many songs, but like a few songs that I brought to the band that they've improved in ways that I would never do myself. And that's the best part of like collaborating, I think, is that it's like these two come up with ideas that I would never come up with by myself. And that always makes the song better, in my opinion, because it makes it less my song and it makes it more our song.
More a NUMB DAME song.
Yeah.
Totally. I think, and like in my band, like I'll be like, yo, let's try this, and then we try it, and I'm like, oh wait, that's shit. Never mind.
No, you're always gonna be learning, and like I don't know, it's fun to play something doggy doo doo and go like, oh yeah, I don't want to do that, you know, because like knowing what you don't want is just as important to you know, refining and creating great art as, you know, playing something good, right?
A classic songwriting note that I'm always giving is, what if we just cut that section in half?
Nice.
Like two or three times that we've just been like, the section isn't working, and I'm like, what if we cut it in half?
Nice.
And it's what it needed.
On the last song, I made that suggestion because I was like, I feel like this needs a classic NUMB DAME less, and it did. Yeah. Also, your guitar solos don't need to be that long. They don't.
I'm so with that. 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Leave them wanting more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless it's Wayne, that's a good guitar solo song.
Hell yeah.
Wayne, more like.
I'm like, I don't mind John Frusciante, but I'm not like a John Frusciante stan.
Yeah.
What's your band, Jimmy? This is your moment for self-promo.
Jars.
Oh, sick! Yo, I haven't seen you, but I've heard lots of good things.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
We have heard of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
April 25th, we're playing a Champions of Hope show. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So,
Playing in a city show.
yeah. Hell yeah.
Bleep
Yeah,
that.
but the reason you guys are here is because you're playing the Mezzanine anniversary show.
The Mezzanine anniversary show on July
10th and 11th,
which is a Saturday,
Friday
and Saturday.
Yes, it's gonna be legendary.
July 10th is both, for the first time, it's both a Friday and a Saturday this year.
Whoa, really? Shit.
They just skip 11 in July.
Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's gonna be legendary. I kind of like to end on, well, first of all, I wanted to ask one more thing. Like, in your guys' experience, I know you don't have much to compare it to, but is there something you think the Vancouver scene could be doing better?
Ooh. I mean, like, it's always little things, and I think one of the things I do love about, at least it's very much like a venue proprietor thing, but like people are trying and like seeing things and willing to change. I think that willingness to change in service of like, you know, liberation, is the only way we can get there. And like a tiny little microcosm of that is Green Auto having the like no creeps, no turfs signs, because there was a creep one time and they were like, maybe we should have a sign. And I think when we played Abbey Underground, the first show we played with the Zaniac out in Abbotsford in a basement, the organizers did a little monologue that was like, you know, a land acknowledgement, a like moshing safety thing, and also a like zero tolerance policy named and said out loud, because that's just so important to, like, it's one thing to say you're a safe space. You can say that over and over and over again, but harm happens. It does. And for justice to work and for harm to be like mitigated, we have to say what the policy is every time. And we have to know what it is, and we have to trust the venue staff, and we have to trust each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? To just like try. And I think a big part of that is just naming things. And I see that happening. So it's like, that's not even like a critique of the scene. It's just like, we are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's awesome. But yeah, it's like, no creeps, no turfs,
Hell
et cetera,
yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. It's like, be cool, be nice, Yeah.
Cool.
What could the scene do better?
I think that the Fox Cabaret needs a house drum kit.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's fair.
Yeah, that venue's dope, but they really do need a back line,
Sorry, the Fox, if you have a house drum kit.
we didn't use it.
I think that this is. I wish I had something more constructive here, or something more sort of well reasoned, I guess, a clear proposal. But I wish that there was a clearer path for bands that have been doing the DIY circuit, these sort of like Red Gates, Green Autos, Take Your Times, Grey Labs, Mezzanines, whatever, to take a step forward to playing some of the local festivals, the street festivals, and getting to play the rickshaw. And we've been fortunate enough to get to do some of those things, but I think it seems unachievable for a lot of bands.
Absolutely.
And I think that like the DIY scene is enormously vibrant, and beautiful and powerful and full of so many energetic, intelligent, creative, motivated people, really kind people. But it's also like completely separate from the music industry, because the music industry, generally speaking, doesn't really value creativity or hard work or kindness or any of the other things that I mentioned. It sort of values capital. And so I wish that there was something. And obviously, I don't mean to say that to like knock the I don't mean to knock the venue owners of like the rickshaw or the organizers of street festivals or anyone else, because they're great people for the most part. But I just wish there was something. I wish bands felt like they could. There are people with money who are actually invested in their work.
I think perhaps a succinct way of saying that is like maybe not a critique of the DIY scene, but like the like arts culture in the city at large is this sort of like respect for youth culture and respect for more working class grassroots kind of culture. I think that'd be super cool. And it's like if the people with money were like, oh, easy, let's just like have a couple funnels towards
Absolutely.
everybody getting bigger, right? Because that would benefit everyone. But
I was going to say, and this is like a reminder for myself too, is that like to just talk to people for like non-networking reasons more and more and more. Because I kind of like, and I hate that I do this too, that I'm like, oh, maybe I'll like get a connection or something. And it's that's such a stupid goal in a way. Not like to have a connection with somebody, but to like, I don't know, have somebody in my social circle.
Yeah, it's like treating it like LinkedIn in person.
Yeah, exactly. And it's something I need to definitely get better at too, is just talking and enjoying being around people. Because sometimes I just have like a long ass day and I can be kind of surly, but I'm doing the thing that I love, so I should be like a bit happier about it. So I don't know if this is a scene problem. Maybe I just think it is because I'm an asshole. And then everyone like reflects that energy back at me and I'm like, everyone's so mean. What the heck?
I think that's a problem with the 21st century that suffuses every aspect of arts, of hobbies, of entertainment, of culture, of even like family and friends.
Cool.
being more in the world and being more intentional of like connecting with people as the human and social and culture way of doing that. I'm really inspired by like our friends in Sundress and like Chronic Fatigue, how like it is for the music and it is for the scene, but it's also just because like being nice to people fucking rules. It feels good to be like, hey, how are you? Oh my god, I saw you at the last show, what's your name? And like trying to remember people's names and all this other stuff. Yeah, I don't know, creating community for its own sake.
Cool.
It fucking rules.
It is.
I
It
don't know,
does.
it's fun to be on Commercial Drive and be like, hey,
Yeah,
to like the person I saw at a show the other day.
Yeah,
People will smile and wave at me like all the time now, and like
Yeah.
I don't know half of these people,
Yeah.
but I know I do.
Yeah.
Right, and I know I see somebody like at the next show or whatever, and that's really beautiful and important to keep in mind. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Shout out.
Cool. Well, I kind of like to end on this one question that...
The final
Straight up trivia question.
Yeah, it's like,
I
so
like
how
to
tall
end on
is the
this
Eiffel
question.
Tower?
What's 108 multiplied by 36? I'm like,
That'd be great.
no!
108, 36.
Ooh. Who's cooking?
The human calculator. Yeah.
So
I was going to do it, and I know. Numbers.
the question is, if all of NUMB DAME's music art was just wiped off the face of the earth, what would be the core message you would want to leave with your fans? Or with people?
Core message. Like I don't know. It feels hard to tie it up nicely with a bow because it does feel like we're just starting.
For me, I think maybe the message I would want to leave, and the message that I constantly think of, is to do something now, because in 10 years you're going to be happy that you were doing something as opposed to doing nothing at all. I think about this all the time, of just like, sometimes we'll be like, oh, I have to play a show tonight, I'm so tired. And I'm like, okay, but in 10 years I'm going to look back and I'm going to be so happy that I was doing something. And it doesn't have to be like, I don't know, playing drums in a band or even anything musically related, but just to do like something that you're passionate about, so that when you look back in 10 years you can be like, well, at least I was doing that instead of just like playing PS5 all the time. Sorry if my PS5 hears this.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I fuck with that. I fuck with the very like future oriented respect for the present moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've actually like I really appreciate that in our friendship, and like that advice has been a nice way to reconnect with the present moment. And to be, you know, at peace.
Awesome.
You know?
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Kill fascists. Fascists actually deserve to die.
I think somebody needs to say something more political.
Honestly, to be completely vain, I think the message I think we're all trying to leave with our art is, in addition to everything Grace and the Zaniacs said, just I was here. You know, we all were here.
NUMB DAME was a band I like eventually.
Nice. I love that. Cool. Well, NUMB DAME, you guys are incredibly kind. Thank you so much for putting up with me scrambling around, figuring things out.
Like it's been such a nice.
Thanks for putting us up with us fucking rambling.
I know, absolutely. You guys are awesome. July 10th and 11th will be the Mezzanine anniversary show.
And 11th. A
Yes.
Friday and a Saturday. Doors at 7, show at 8?
Doors at 7, shows at 8.
Doors at 7, shows at
There'll
8?
be art vendors. There'll be
Art
fundraising
vendors?
for a charity too. Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be really great.
Yeah.
This has been Champ's Corner. Jingle, 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 jingle. Is there a jingle?
I wish there was.
There's gotta be. It's like literally just one boomer bend.
Yeah. One BB King bend.
Yeah, you know.
Oh yeah.
Do we have a quote to? There's a Beatles quote in House of Leaves.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm trying to find the bit where Johnny Truitt has a prostate orgasm.
Oh.
We should cut before that, yeah.
Should I read some pieces of it?
Cut.
This has been Champ.
Cool.
I was trying to think of what one of your addresses was, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
You guys are amazing.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Game recognized game.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, dog. Champ's Corner.
Yeah, go to a DIY show. Go to a show
Go to Champ's Corner.
in your city. Say hi to people.
True.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Cut.
Yeah.